Hi, I'm Mary from Mary Stories, and today I'm going to show you how to crochet this simple crochet shrug with a stitch which is called the block stitch pattern. I believe you are going to find it easy, and I think you would want to lounge in all day as it is very loose and long and warm. Let's go and see how to crochet this shrug. I am using Vanna style from Lion's Brands, and it is 100% acrylic yarn, and I have used two shades, one red and one ecru. You'll need some scrap yarns to make some ridges if you want to make the same as in my shrug. To make a start, let's make a slip knot first, and I'm going to create a swatch for you to make it clear how to crochet this block stitch pattern. You will need to chain a multiple of 3 plus 1, and for this swatch I'm going to crochet 19 chains. Once you've chained your length, you insert your hook in third chain from the hook, and you are going to be working a single crochet. Then you are going to skip 2 stitches, 2 chains from the base. You are going to chain 2 and count 1, 2, 3. Into that third chain, work a single crochet, and this is what we are going to repeat to the end of our row. Chain 2, skip 2 stitches, skip 2 chains, and into the third work a single crochet. Now I'm at the end of row 1 and I have 4 stitches left, so chain 2, skip 2 chains, and work a single crochet in next third stitch, and lastly a single crochet into that very last stitch, and you should turn your work. We have 2 single crochets at the end of row 1. Turn your work, and to start row 2, chain 4, which is equal to a double crochet and a chain 1 space, and we're going to go straight into that chain 2 space and work 3 double crochets into that space, and chain 1 right after you finish with your 3 double crochets. Then jump over to the next chain 2 space and the same again, work 1 double crochet, a second one in that same space. It's like a granny stripe pattern, but it's similar, but it's not the same. 3 double crochets and chain 1, and we have made 2 clusters of 3 double crochets already. Remember to chain 1 between these clusters, so we make another 3 double crochets all in the same next chain 2 space, and chain 1 in between your clusters. We have 2 chain 2 spaces, work 1, 2, and the third one into that same space, chain 1, and work 3 double crochets into that last space. You should only pay attention at the beginning and until the end of these rows. Chain 1 and work, skip next stitch and work in last stitch, which is a chain we had made in previous row. Work a double crochet there. It's the second chain out of the 2 that we left unworked. We're going to work now row number 3, and we're going to chain 1. If you want, put a marker in this stitch, because this is the stitch where we should insert our hook at the end of next row. So because it is a very small stitch, we cannot find it easily. If you put a marker, then you are going to be okay. And work a single crochet in the very first chain space we have below us. Then chain 2, skip over this cluster and work a single crochet in next chain 1 space. This is what we should do at this row 3. Chain 2 and work single crochet in next chain space. We chain 2 and not 3 as the 3 double crochets we have in previous row, but trust me, this is the right thing to do if you want to achieve a more proper and not loose pattern. So chain 2, skip over this cluster and work a single crochet in next chain 1 space, and we're going to do the same thing. We have a last cluster before us, chain 2, then skip this cluster, single crochet into the space, into the last space, and work a last single crochet into that third chain out of the 4 chains. So we end up row 3 with 2 single crochets. This was row 3, and next we have row 4, and these are the 2 rows you have to repeat. So chain 4 and work 3 double crochets into next chain 2 space. This is a very simple repetition in this row. We chain 4 at the beginning of the row, then we make a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 1. Always remember to chain 1 in between the group of 3 double crochets, and then skip over the single crochet and go to that chain 2 space and work a group of 3 double crochets. Again chain 1 and jump over into that next chain 2 space and work 1, 2 double crochet and the third one, and chain 1 and skip over. We have 2 more chain spaces to work group of 3 double crochets. So it's the second double crochet and work the third one and chain 1, and let's work 3 double crochets into that last chain 2 space, and to end row 4 we have to chain 1, chain 1 and work a double crochet into that chain 1 of the beginning of previous row, which should be marked, but I lost my marker. And these are the 2 rows we are going to repeat to make the block stitch pattern. At the beginning and at the end we have the same thing. It's like we have a double crochet and a chain 1. I'm going to show you now what I did in my real shrug. I have worked for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 let's say granny rows, and after this 5th row I have added a single crochet row as in row 3, but I used a different color to do this. So we have to work one last double crochet at the chain 1 stitch, and when we have 2 loops on our hook, it's time to insert a different color if we want to add these ridges of different color. And I have inserted a loop of color ecru or beige, and work row 3. So chain 1, mark this stitch if you want to find easily where to end next row, and then work a single crochet in this first chain space, chain 2, and jump over and work a single crochet in next space, chain 2. I believe it's a very simple row to work, this single crochet row, and we start with a chain 1 and single crochet, which is equal to 2 single crochets that we work at the end of the row. So we start the same way as we end up the row. Chain 2 and work a single crochet in last space and a single crochet lastly in third chain out of the 4 chains of initial chain 4 of previous row. Or you should work instead 2 single crochets in that same last space. And when we have 2 loops on our hook, it's time to insert again our basic color, which is the olive color of this beautiful yarn, and turn to work row 4. We only work row 3 to create these small ridges in different color. So to work row 4, I just show you a little bit more, chain 4, and work a group of 3 double crochets in next chain 2 space. 1, 2, and 3. I believe you are going to find easy this stitch. Just remember how to start and how to end your rows. It's easy to remember that you should start the same way as you end. So in this row we are starting with a chain 4, which is equal to a double crochet and a chain 1 space. So at the end, after our last group of 3 double crochets, chain 1 and work a double crochet. If you achieve to remember these instructions, then you are not going to have any problem and you are going to work very easily the stitch pattern. So from now on I'm going to work another 5 rows of granny. I used to count my rows counting only the granny stripe row, so it's easier for me. Now at the end I'm working in chain 1 stitch a final double crochet and turn chain 1 and start again working row number 3. From now on I believe you are going to work without any problem, and you can see now how it looks with a ridge in a different color, and you can work this or not. I'm now showing you in my real shrug how do these ridges look like. And I am holding double this yarn because it's thinner than my basic yarn. It was a scrap yarn I had, and this is my turning chain, so I work a final single crochet in that chain, and it's time to cut my yarn and add again my basic olive color and continue working. This is how it looks, and I am going to work a little bit more on the rear shrug so you can see better how it looks like. It's row number 4 again, chain 4, and go straight to the next chain 2 space and work a group of 3 double crochets. Very, very simple pattern, and it makes a warm, very nice and comfortable cardigan. This is it. I'm going to give you all measurements in my blog, so visit my blog. You see that I crochet 5 rows of granny stripes, and then I insert a different color just to make this effect. This is my size small, and I have a shrug which is about I don't remember the measurements right now. I'm going to write it so I don't make any mistake. I have to weave in my ends now, and I'm going to show you a little bit how to do this. When we have our basic color, it's easy to weave these ends. I prefer to work at the edge of the row, since I'm going to work a color afterwards, and everything there is there, it's going to be hidden nicely. So I make some threads back and forth in some loops, and then I cut my yarn. I pull a little bit and cut it, and when I have this different color, I have to work in my stitch row to hide the color in the same color stitches. So I just work under the olive color, as you see now. So my work is very tidy. I go back again in some loops, and then again under the group of 3 double crochets, and this is the way you are going to weave in your ends. It's not work we love to do, I know, but it's this design's work. This is the rectangle, which we have to fold in half lengthwise, and now we're going to sew the sides up to a point, so we leave an opening to form the armholes. And for this size small, I have left an opening of 7 inches or 18 centimeters. I mean the half of the opening. If you want to measure it all around the armhole, you have to double it, then it's 14 inches or 36 centimeters front and back armhole. And we have now to sew up the sides, and I use my preferred method. You can sew with your preferred method. I insert my hook near the edge of the sides of the rows. Small threads from one part and from the other part, taking care to have the granny stripes at the same level, so we keep our pattern in the right position. This is the only thing you should care about. And when you do this, then it's very, very nice and tidy. Now have to work near the different color ridges, and I have to keep them side by side, so the red color from the one part meets the other red from the other part. And now have sewn the two sides. This is how your shrug looks. And to form the shrug, this rectangle to a cardigan, open it, and you have a big opening in front of you. This is the cardigan already shaped, and this big opening is where we are going to work our collar. We are going to work from one seaming point all around the perimeter of this opening. So join yarn having the right side facing you, and we are going to work the ribbing pattern. Let's start joining our yarn in this point and chain 2 and start working half double crochets. You should work half double crochet in each one of the group of 3 double crochets if you have finished with a double crochet row. If you have finished with a single crochet row, then you should work 3 half double crochets into chain 2 spaces. I had finished my working lastly my row 4, so I have 3 double crochets in front of me, and I am just working 3 half double crochets, and I skip over the chain 1 in between the 3 double crochets. So 1, 2 and 3 half double crochets. Now I have jumped over to my foundation row, and before me I can see chain 2 spaces, so remember to work 3 half double crochets in every chain 2 space. And this is a foundation row for our collar, made out of half double crochets. We have to join now at the top of chain 2. So join with a slip stitch, insert your hook in second chain and work a slip stitch, and turn your work so the inside or the wrong side of your shrug is facing you. And we're going to start the same thing again, only this time we're going to work a front post half double crochet. It's not so easy, but look at this small swatch I have made to give you an idea of what the ribbing effect is. Chain 2 and find next half double crochet and work a front post half double crochet. Then in next stitch you are going to work a simple half double crochet, not in the post. This is the only difference of a classic ribbing pattern, which is a front post and a back post. Here we have no back post half double crochet, we have only a front post half double crochet, and then you should find next stitch and to the left of your stitch work in that loop a simple half double crochet. Now we have to work a front post. So find the post which is not as long as in a double crochet, and it's maybe a bit difficult to find it, but I wanted to make a different from usual ribbing patterns, so I chose this one. Pull a little bit to find the posts of the half double crochet, and then find the normal loop to work a simple, I call it simple, a usual half double crochet in next stitch. This is the repeat to the end of our row, a front post half double crochet and a half double crochet in next stitch, front post half double crochet in next stitch, and a half double crochet in next stitch. You should only take care to find the post and the normal loop. This is a repeat, and this is what we work to the sleeves as well. So work front post half double crochet and find the loop to the left to work a simple half double crochet. I used to pull my stitches every time it's not clear where I have to put my hook, so I'm sure I'm not wrong. So make it slowly at this first row, because it's very basic to understand the pattern, and don't rush. When we are patient, I think it's more easy to understand a pattern, and then we are sure we are not making any mistake and work without any problem. We have reached the end of the row, and we have to join with a slip stitch in second chain, and we always turn our work after the end of each row. So insert your hook in second chain and work a slip stitch and turn. It's not very basic what we do at the end, if we do a front post or a simple half double crochet. Whatever you do, just work in next row, watching out to see if there is a front post half double crochet, then you work a front post half double crochet, and if it's a simple half double crochet, you work a simple one. This is the recipe, let's say, for this stitch. Go back to see if it's a front post that pops out to the back. Then this same stitch you have to pop it out to the front of your work. It's rather strange, but this is what it gives this stitch pattern, this its texture. You can understand that this stitch pops to the back, so insert your hook to the post and work it as a front post half double crochet. And the next one, it doesn't pop, it's a simple half double crochet, work a simple half double crochet. Once you find out how to work, I'm sure you're going to enjoy it, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy much more the result of this stitch. And now we have the sleeves, the armholes in front of us. Insert your hook and join yarn into that seaming point, and we're going to work the same as in collar, chain 2, and we're going the difference in this armhole is that we are working to the sides of our work, to the sides of our rows. And to give you an idea, you have to work around 23 half double crochets till your shoulder, let's say, point. To if you have if you keep folded this shrug, then remember to work around 23 and 23 half double crochets to the other side. So it's around 46 in this size small, 46 half double crochets. Now I'm at the end of row 1, which is the basic, the foundation row, and I'm going to slip stitch in second chain and join the round and turn so the wrong side or the inside of the armhole is facing me, and I'm going to work again. I'm going to work a decrease row, so decrease the next 2 stitches into 1 and work simple half double crochets in each of next 3 stitches. This is the decrease row. We decrease as we decrease in double crochet stitches, so insert your hook and work until you have 2 stitches, and then work a second half double crochet and pull through 3 stitches, and then work 3 half double crochets. So we are working this decrease row. Remember to decrease 2 half double crochets together, and at the end of the row we have decreased nearly 10 stitches. So out of the 45-46 that we have in previous row, now we have 35, and this will create a much a cuff will be a little bit tighter and will fit perfectly to our arms. In next third row, once we have made the decrease we want, we can work our stitch pattern, our ribbing stitch pattern. So the repetition is 1 front post half double crochet and 1 half double crochet next. Watch out to find the right stitch in the decreased stitch. It's a stitch that holds 2 stitches together, so you have to find it to the left. And you should work a front post half double crochet and then a simple half double crochet next stitch. So this is a simple half double crochet and a front post half double crochet, and this is our decrease, and we are working there a simple half double crochet. And now it's time to join in the second chain with a slip stitch and turn our work to start our row 4, which is the row that we're going to repeat on each other row from now on. Chain 2, and once you have a front post half double crochet, work the same thing, work a front post half double crochet and a simple half double crochet next stitch. This is the row to repeat, and we're going to be working this row for about 10 or 15 rows more. Remember to make a decrease row near the end as well, so you end up with 26 stitches at the end of your cuff, and it will fit perfectly. This is my Olivia shrug. I hope you will love this pattern, and you will find it as a free written pattern on my blog or on lovecrafts.com. And I really want to thank you for all your support and love. It's so important for me to read your comments and to listen to all the things you have to say in order to make it better, to make better my work or my patterns. Thank you very much. See you in next pattern. Bye.